So the EBT card, I guess, system went down, I know, a few days ago. In like 15 or so, 20, something like that, 15 or 20 states. So people could not swipe their EBT cards. It was showing that there was no limit or something like that. There was some kind of glitch. And from what I've heard, is that the Walmarts, which naturally, keeping in mind, if you gotta go shopping, where's one of the cheapest places you can go to buy food? Well, it's Walmart, as well as other items. And of course, the other items are usually made in China garbage. But it's cheap, and people need cheap. And when this glitch occurred, everyone who had EBT cards, there was, well, let me stop for a second. There was very few of these Walmarts. I think there was only one that I can remember reading about. I can't remember if it was in California or not. But anyways, it allowed people to still go ahead and get items and check out, even though it wasn't showing them like a total or amount on the card. In other words, it was like it was limitless. Limitless. And there was people filling up carriages, buggies, shopping carts, full to the top and getting in line. Because they thought, well, if there's no limit, by the time the thing kicks back in, we'll already have all this stuff. They'll let us have it anyways. So then that got a little out of control, and the Walmart in question had to call the police to help inside, because it was like going crazy. People were, one of the cops, when they got there, said that he was quoted as saying, anyways, that the frenzy inside of Walmart was worse than any Black Friday sale he has ever seen. This is because a glitch in the food stamp system, which caused these cards to not have a limit or show a limit. Now, what the rest of the stores were doing is saying, well, we can't help you guys with EBT. If there's no limit, we know there's a limit. We're shutting down. Yeah, you'll just have to wait for them to fix it. That's what the majority did. And the majority of the Walmarts were ghost towns. When they shut off shopping to customers that had EBT cards because of the glitch, many Walmarts became literal ghost towns. So, the other day, when old J Snip4 did a video, which I know bothered some people, and I mentioned right around here where I'm from, Tampa, Brandon, Florida, that area, there's a lot of Mexicans that are illegal. It is what it is. How do you know they're Mexican? Trust me, you can tell a Mexican from someone that's Puerto Rican or Cuban most of the time. Believe me. So I made a comment in the video about that, and how, someone was in line, saw this Mexican. Now, here's the thing. Nobody knew whether he was illegal or not, technically speaking. But this guy witnesses him pull out a wad of cash in his wallet, opens his wallet, huge amount of cash. Got his grocery cart full of stuff. This is the other day. This has nothing to do with the story right now. And he takes his EBT card out instead and pays for all that food rather than touch his cash, of course. So when it was the guy's turn to go up, the next guy who saw that go up, who was next in line, says, hey, to the register, the guy at the register says, hey, just out of curiosity, how many people do you see using those food stamp cards, those EBT cards? And he said, probably 1 out of 2. So every other person is using an EBT card. So that does sound a little absurd when you say, well, it's only supposed to be 50 million people on food stamps and all that, and those are the numbers we get. If those numbers were right, that would mean that 50 million out of 100 million people are on food stamps and using these EBT cards. So if you go to Walmart and it becomes a ghost town when the EBT system's down, you got to really think about what that guy at Walmart said. 1 out of 2 is not using EBT cards, or is using EBT cards, 50%. So think about that. If you went to work every day like you do, Monday through Friday, you live in the city, you see what the traffic's like, rush hour, both going to work and coming back home from work, and then one day, literally, half the cars, half the people are gone. From your drive to work, the time you get to work, people at your job, and then home. Just the population cutting 50%. You would think it's a ghost town too. You would look around like, holy crap, where did everybody go? I mean, half the people are gone. That's a lot of people to be missing. So, that's a little analogy. But, this is what just happened at Walmart. Ghost town, EBT's down, no one showed up. And then the one Walmart that said, yeah, well, we'll still accept y'all's food, go ahead and get your food. And then saw everybody and their mother loading the boat, loading the shopping cart with the goods. They said, oh, we can't do this. This is going to get out of control. You know, I mean, they're buying, you know, $200 worth of groceries, knowing darn well they don't have that kind of money. You know, right? More than $200, obviously. I mean, there was pictures of the shopping carts just smack full. So then the Walmart had to call the police to have them help them stop this madness. And again, the police officer says, oh, it was worse than any Black Friday I've ever seen. Now, keeping in mind, we've all seen those videos on YouTube and stuff, Black Friday, the crazy ones. And I'm pretty sure that same police officer has seen something of the same nature. I mean, everybody's got a Facebook account. Everybody saw those videos. Millions and millions of views. So, speaking of that, I may have to go do the same thing. Walmart Black Friday or something this go around, and film it just to show it, because a lot of people, well, I don't know if I should say a lot of people, but I know some people don't think, no, that's not my area, my Walmart. No, I live in a different part of town. They don't do that there, even though they didn't go to see themselves. So I do live in one of those areas where you wouldn't think it'd get crazy, but who's to say what is crazy and what's not? Just, you know, you expecting, oh, well, that's because it's near the ghetto, that's why it's like that, or that's because it's in like a gang area of California. No, it's pretty crazy everywhere. So I may have to film that this go around, which is coming up soon. So anyway, I just want to share that with you. This is, again, this is just proof of how the numbers they give us are lies. It's way worse than anyone ever thought. And the reason we don't see a depression like the last time this really happened, a big depression, 1929, early 1930s, is because back then they had soup lines. You could physically go out and see everybody and recognize, oh, they're in a soup line. They obviously need help. They're homeless or moneyless, whatever it is. They need help. Definitely a depression going on. Here, they just cover it up by giving everyone else that would be in the depression, would be in line, soup lines, because they don't have jobs, they give them an EBT card. So when the EBT system went down, and keep in mind, it was only in, you know, again, 15 or so states. We have 50 states here. And all of those ones reporting that it was like a ghost town in Walmart when it happened. So it would be obviously safe to assume that the rest of the country would be the same exact way if the other parts of the country had the same issue on the same day. So, absolutely incredible. It also shows you that if a major catastrophe happened to where that system went down, and credit card system, debit card system, the whole 9 yards, electronic systems, that would force the same thing to happen, except if a catastrophe happened, people would recognize this happened because of a catastrophe. They would flip out and they would go clean the shelves off without being somewhat civilized like they were this go around. And only one day went by before the thing was fixed. So then take into consideration the people that do have the money if that type of catastrophe happened, and they just had a debit card, and they've got, you know, plenty of money on it. I'm going to go to the grocery store, but the debit system's down. Oh, okay. Oh, due to this catastrophe. Oh, my God. Well, that's okay. I got cash. I'll go to the bank and get cash. Well, guess what? Everybody else that had money has to do the same thing. They just all of a sudden got the same idea, of course. Oh, I've got money in the bank. I'll go to the bank. And since the banks don't keep hardly any cash on hand nowadays, that would be cleaned out in a hurry. And then how would the bank get more money from the Federal Reserve if the electronic banking system was down? We're going to go back to pen and paper? Oh, you know, that's why it's crucial to have your money in your hand, in your possession. Same with your gold and silver. As I always say, keep about a month, maybe 2 months worth of money in the bank for bills. Keep the rest in a safe. And when I say safe, as I've said before, you have to get a burglar-proof safe. That's the key word when buying a safe. Because you may think you're buying a safe, but it is nothing more than a fireproof box. Not a safe. A burglar-proof safe. Anyways, that's all I got for you. See what this interesting week ahead has for us regarding the shutdown and everything else. Take care.